Tonight's Gooder Entertainment production is brought to you by The Chopping Block, Minotti Woodcrafters, Pinkerton Pitts Barbecue, Texas Boiled Doves, JB Waterwell, All Fired Up Barbecue Cook-Off, Texas Original Charcoal, the Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off at the Crossroads, Smoke and Magic, Texas High Roller Events, Laredo Roofing Solutions, Navy SEAL Danny Deets Memorial Classic, Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation, The Barbecue Store, Mr. Keen Sharpening Service, Cosmos Q Products, Half-Ass Cookers, Damn Yankee Texas Barbecue, Rectech, Quattro D Drums, We Branded Promotions, Texas Barbecue Bash, and Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics. Thank you for supporting the So Smokin' Gooder Show.
Hey there, everybody. This is Aaron, the Retro Guy, host of the Morning Roast Radio Show, and you're locked in to the So Smokin' Gooder Show. Give it to them, fellas.
I call it bass boat.
Bass boating?
If you ever seen a bass boat go down the water and everything like that?
Oh, and he nailed it. Oh, shit. Hashtag bass boat.
Hey, we got any more beer in here? All right, I'm sorry. I won't talk again. I'm sorry. All right, go ahead, Robbie.
If you're gonna put it in the box, put it in the box.
And stamp it.
Kid folk with canned heat, barbecue. We're going to the So Smokin' Gooder Show. Let's all drop in.
What's up, family? This is the Barbecue Dad, Jody Flanagan, and you're watching the So Smokin' Gooder Show, baby. Lucky you, you old SOB.
Are you ready to turn up the heat?
1. Let's go!
Because you've just tuned in to the one and only So Smokin' Gooder Show. We're coming to you live from Bullhorn Barbecue headquarters in Cypress, Texas. This is the show where we talk all things barbecue and brews, and you better believe we're here to have a good time. Get ready for the man who knows barbecue like the back of his hand, the guy who can tell you the difference between an IPA and a stout blindfolded, and the life of every party, your barbecue pitmaster and the host with the most, Rob Arocha. Whether you're part of the Gooder Gang or just here for the special guests, barbecue competition updates, or maybe even to rate some boxes, strap in, fire up those smokers, and crack open a cold one, because the So Smokin' Gooder Show starts now.
I am not Rob Arocha, but this is the So Smokin' Gooder Show. Rob's having a few little technical difficulties, but we'll get him in here as soon as possible. We got a great show for you tonight. We have one of the OGs of Texas barbecue, Arnie Segovia, and we have the OG co-host, the one and only, Mr. Case Hahn. What's going on, Mr. Case Hahn?
I got excited when you said OG of barbecue. I was like, wow, I didn't know I had that kind of status. And then you were talking about Arnie.
Well, you're definitely the OG of co-host for the show, but I know we had Rob there for a second and then we lost him, but we're going to go ahead and start the show, and hopefully he'll pop on. Try not to bring on Arnie until he gets here. But so what's been going on, Case?
Though, for you to tell that all the audience out there that I was early to this show. Rob has a tendency of blaming me for being late, and so I was actually early this time. It's Rob's fault that we're running a little bit behind, but we're going to have a fantastic show because, man, the one, the only, the YouTube, Facebook legend, and a close friend of mine, Arnie, is here, and it's going to be a great show tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited. So while we're waiting, let's go ahead and give some shout outs to the Gooder Gang. Appreciate y'all watching, Gooder Gang. Let's see. First in was ZZ Top Fan Evening All. Mr. Keem Sharpening Service with the YouTube Super Chat. Thank you, sir. Got Pit Life Barbecue Podcast, Evening Gooder Gang. Teresa Edmond, good evening, Gooder Gang. Larry Bond Sr. from South Jersey checking in with us. Appreciate you watching, sir. We got the Dude Barbecue. Micho Arredondo, what's going on, sir? Case Vincent, what's up, man? Waxing poetic, I know. Mr. Steve Quint, what's going on, sir? Our follow team, Serge Gracita. Who else we got here? We got the Texas Barbecue Bash. What's going on here tonight? We're having technical difficulties. That's what's going on tonight, but we're going to make it through it. Ocala Q, what's going on? Rini Sanchez, Matt Kaspar, what's going on, Gooder Gang? Uwe Braun, our favorite German. Steve Quint. We got James Stewart. Corey Holt. Arnie. I know we're going to get a lot of people coming and watching the show because of Arnie. You know, that's for sure. Right, Case?
Yes, it's well documented who the real star of the night's going to be.
Yeah, and Case, I guess, Corey Holt says. We're waiting on the star of the show who's got laptop issues. Yeah, that's right. Your eyes don't deceive you. I'm not Rob Rocha, and in Case Hahn is not Robert Rocha. Robert Rocha.
Neither one of us combined have the hair game of Robert Rocha.
Very true. Uwe Braun, Teresa Edmondson. Let's see who else we got here. Mr. King Sharpening Service. If you don't mind, sir, put in the comments where you're going to be this weekend. Hey, tell Rob to use his phone. Yeah, I did. Roger that. Wake me up when it starts. ZZ Top Fan. Rodney Trevino. What's going on, sir? Star of the show. Case Hahn.
My BFFE.
That's right. It's good to have you back, man. Nico Russ, let's go. Bobby Stewart. Let's see, Josephine Dominic. Just another happy day. Let's see, I think that's everybody. Lance Brocca's Chief Barbecue. James Miller. David Dunn. Charles Kramer. And Bud Brown. I think we got all the Gooder Gang there.
That's awesome. I'm glad you could, mash up everybody's names because I would have screwed up half of them. So.
Yeah, I just try to emulate Rob and just shout out everybody's name, kind of, goofy and be as funny when I can. So, be like our host.
We try.
So what's been going on with you, Case? What's been up since the last time you appeared on the show? I think it was 300, right?
I am 3 for 3 in traveling to see the Texans. I've been all 3 losses in a row. I'm starting to think that my attendance is part of the issue for my beloved Houston Texans, but took the family to Jacksonville, had a great trip, was out in L.A. For the Rams. Two phenomenal stadiums as I'm chasing NFL stadiums. I have 11 of them down now, and I've got 19 to go. So just making some rounds, living the dream. Got a now 8-year-old. Happy birthday, Katie. She had a birthday on Monday. And playing fall softball and doing all those things that dads of 8-year-olds do. So
that's what I'm talking about. I got a 12-year-old at home, and he's in swimming and cross country and martial arts all the time. His social calendar is very much exceeds mine.
Yes, I think if you ask me what I'm doing 2 weeks from now, I can't tell you because my wife pretty much sends me the itinerary for every week at a time. Between piano practice and softball practice and Texans games, the house is blowing and going, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, very true. Very true. So I do wonder what's going to go on with Rob here. But let me play a couple videos here, and we'll be right back, and hopefully Rob will be with us.
Hi, I'm Janice Mella from Mella Hughes in Canada, and you are are watching So Smoking Gooder Show. Well, let me be straight up. I'm Crazy Alexius from Gibson Hill Barbecue, and you're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show.
Hey, what's up, Gooder Gang? I'm Curtis McBlain.
And I'm Andrew Stewart.
And we're the Mullet Shakers from Atkins, Texas.
And you're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show.
This is Bill Purvis with Chicken Fried Barbecue, and you're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show. Boom.
Is he going to make it? Oh, there's our host.
Am I in?
There you go.
Am I in? Can y'all hear me? Am I on?
I can hear you. So.
Ty, Case, do not fuck with me, bro. You're messing with me.
Come on.
Well, I play the intro so we can start. I'm sorry. I'm out of sequence. We'll get Case in. We'll get Arnie in. We got a great show. Play the intro.
We're already started, man. We started the intro when you were in there before. Yeah, so we're
already shout out. We've already done
play
the shout out.
Play it one more time so we can start officially.
Gotcha.
Are you ready to turn up the 2, 1? Because you've just tuned in to the one and only So Smoking Gooder Show. We're coming to you live from Bullhorn Barbecue headquarters in Cypress, Texas. This is the show where we talk all things barbecue and brews, and you better believe we're here to have a good time. Get ready for the man who knows barbecue like the back of his hand, the guy who can tell you the difference between an IPA and a stout blindfolded, and the life of every party, your barbecue pitmaster and the host with the most, Rob Arocha. Whether you're part of the Gooder Gang or just here for the special guests, barbecue competition updates, or maybe even to rate some boxes, strap in, fire up those smokers, and crack open a cold one, because the So Smoking Gooder Show starts now.
All righty. Good evening, Gooder Gang. Yes, Rini Gonzalez. What a diva. The show has started already. My apologies. My goodness. I hate it. Sometimes they want to do a restart whenever it happens, but that thing was dead. I thought I was swapping computers. I was doing all kinds of stuff. Hey, thank you, Gooder Gang. 50 deep already. Shout out to producer Ty and our OG co-host Case Hahn for putting on the show. Sorry we're late. It hasn't happened for a long time. I think the last time we were late, Case was the co-host of the show. So I will blame this all on Case. But happy Wednesday to you guys and gals. This is what we do on Wednesday. You know what we do. We hang out with the barbecue homies. We have another. I'm excited. I'm always excited about our shows. I really am. I'm always excited about our shows. But I got a little pep in my step tonight. I've got, I'm a little extra excited. We got our producer Ty in the house. We got our OG co-host Case Hahn, who you already saw. But then we've got like true OG. He was one of our guests at the very, very, very beginning of our shows. He was guest number 8. He was episode number 8, and we are on tonight episode number 323. And he's been back. This wasn't his only time. He's been back a couple times since then. But wow, what a growth that we get to talk about with Mr. Arnie Segovia from Smoking Lone Star, for those who don't know. But now he is known across the world as ArnieTex. That man, we'll go over the stats in a minute. We'll go over all the stats in a minute. But I am excited tonight to share tonight's show with the man, ArnieTex. This is going to be a great show tonight. We've got Arnie on. We've got the OG co-host who just came on screen. Case, where you been, bro? I've been waiting all night for you to appear. And
yeah,
I heard you were.
I can verify I was here early. So we actually already did the interview with Arnie. We got it pre-recorded. I'm gonna get out of here and get to bed. So it's been great. Thank y'all every night. Good night, Barbecue Nation.
I'm not stealing the neighbor's Wi-Fi. Apparently, I have a lag. I will fix it. I promise you. It'll catch up. I've killed the kids. I've not killed the kids. I killed their Wi-Fi for the kids. killed the Wi-Fi for the kids. Hopefully, Case, I feel like I'm not lying to you, am I? Producer Ty, a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, Rob. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's you're lagging pretty bad.
Of course, when we have Arnie on, but
And me.
I know you
I'm
and
here too,
Case
Rob.
already talked. I know you already had the Gooder gang. I know Ty and Case has already talked. I know y'all had the Gooder gang recap. Let me see what we got going on here with my crazy ass. What? Yeah, it's bad. It is bad.
Rob and his internet.
This is bad. I apparently, Case, you're gonna have to carry the show until I figure this out. I apologize, but bring on Arnie. Do what you do. I will come right back on as soon as I can.
You'll get it figured out. We'll see you back here soon.
Got it?
Yep.
Yep.
So as Rob works to figure it out, we've got the guest of the hour tonight, Mr. Arnie Segovia. He is a New York Times best-selling author. He is also a member of the IBCA Hall of Fame. He's got over 1 million followers last time I checked on YouTube, and he's managed to set aside some time to talk with us tonight. We're pretty excited about that. On a personal note, I also consider Arnie a close friend, and blessed to know him for many, many years, well before he became internet famous, and he still remains an amazing friend today. So, Ty, if you can, bring on Arnie, and let's get this interview going. The man, the myth, the legend.
Hey, howdy. Hello, everybody. What's happening?
Arnie, tell us, those of you, I'm pretty sure most of us follow you on social media, but where are you? What the hell are you up to? Where are you at today? What state, country? Is it like the Today Show? Is there a group of fans outside waving through the window at you?
Not quite. No, not like that. Today we're up in Austin at my son's house. We're up here trying to get caught up on recording videos. The cookbook took an incredible amount of time to create, and also the cookbook tour recently started in mid-July, also took a lot of time away from us producing. And so we kind of got a little bit behind. Our hopper got a little empty, and we came up to Austin last week with the intention to get caught up on recipe videos for our followers and our fans. That's what drives everything ArnieTex at this point in time. And we love what we do. And so we're up here getting caught up, man. We've been here for about 10 days, and we've got about 8 or 9 videos recorded. So we're just really hammered down trying to get caught up more than anything right now. And next week we'll be headed back home to the Valley, spend a few weeks up there, and then come back and hammer down again for a little while.
Arnie, do you have a schedule in mind when it comes to how many video posts? I follow a couple of folks that are influencers online, and some of these guys are posting videos every single day. Is it something that y'all have a goal in mind and a set schedule? How many posts that you want to make a day or a week?
We've kind of changed over the last year and a half. We were at one time posting 2 YouTube videos and literally 2 real short form videos a day on Facebook, because Facebook was paying good money for reels at that time. That was a couple years ago. And so we were just hammered down. I'd make some, my son would make some, my wife would make some. So we were putting reels out every day, 2 a day. And we were doing 2 Facebook posts a day. Fast forward another year, and things just got kind of hectic and crazy and busy. As you probably know, we have several brand partners that have, partnered with us. And so that's also another time-consuming thing. We try to make, good videos and represent them really well. And so it just kind of all got really into a snowball. And so now we make it a goal to post 1 YouTube video every Sunday at 10. Every once in a while, we misfire. We try to get a couple or 3 reels a week out, and of course stories and all that stuff. But I really don't do most of that work. I do the cooking. Terry helps me with that, and she does the dishes Thankfully, I got a great partner, but my son Dan, he's our general manager and our COO and our creative director. His background is photo video. He was main videographer and editor for a big marketing company before we stole him away, before we could afford to steal him away, actually. So we finally got him on board about 2 years ago, and he's done a phenomenal job. He pretty much runs everything behind the scenes, does all the scheduling, puts the finishing touches on all the videos. My daughter, Sophie, is up in Chicago. She's done most of the editing. Excuse me. She's done most of the editing since day one when we created our online class, and she does an amazing job. And then we've hired a couple of other, freelancers off and on, depending on how busy we are. And then my son Dan here puts the finishing touches on everything, schedules everything, handles all the emails, all the scheduling, and all that stuff.
I think back to when Rob and I did this thing, and when you were talking about episode 8, we were at Wild Bill's shop with a handheld voice recorder, just talking with friends.
I remember.
And today I log on, and Rob's got a WWE intro music that he's got to have obviously before he can come on. But he's got all I've seen how this show has evolved. How has your show evolved? I know you started with I think your sons had a lot of this in the background. It was they had a lot of the skill set early on.
Yes.
But how much has changed in the production value of what you're producing today versus that first video that you put out, a few years ago?
Yeah, a lot has changed. I mean, we started with a cell phone like a lot of people do, and then we moved on to some cameras, and we run Canon cameras, and then we moved on to what they call the full frame cameras. They're better cameras. And then a couple of years ago, my kids used to do the recording, and then they moved to San Antonio from the Valley, and so I had to buy a couple of cameras to learn how to use them myself. And YouTube did all the way, man. Little by little, we got better and better. And then we bought better cameras and cinematic cameras and all that sort of stuff. But, I tell people now, you don't have to have those nowadays. I mean, these cell phones are so good now that, and there are some creators with millions of followers that just run cell phones. But what we've tried to do over time is get better at lighting, get better at audio, get better quality videos, get better at editing, and I think we've kind of succeeded in all of that, because at the end of the day, you have to balance all those things and a good thumbnail, a good picture for people to click, right? And then hopefully you can hook them and they stay on a little bit longer. So I want to say we've really kind of grown from when we started, from just very basic videos to a much higher quality. We used to do everything in 1080, and this happened about a year ago. YouTube, on the back end was telling some of us that the higher quality videos were going to get better performance with algorithm help and stuff. And so we switched to 4K. So we pretty much do everything 4K now. There are 6K and 8K stuff out there now, but I mean, they're beasts to edit, and honestly, for YouTube, we feel like 4K is pretty much plenty good for what we do. We do like to, we've improved in the sense, I think we're one of the few people that run 3 cameras pretty much 90% of the time. We've got an overhead, an angle camera, and then a front camera. And so that obviously takes a lot more space and time to edit and stuff like that. So we've made a real big effort to produce good quality videos, and I hope people appreciate it.
Do you have an idea how long the editing process? I mean, everybody sees the video online, but how much work goes into the finished product, to make that, few minute video that we all enjoy on YouTube?
Our average video on YouTube is about 10 to 12 minutes. We're trying to get them a little bit longer now, but that's kind of been our average since we started. And we may record anywhere from 4 to 8 hours of actual video footage per camera, altogether 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours. And it takes about 30 to 40 hours to edit that video into a 10-minute video that people can enjoy. Believe me, there's a lot of bloopers along the way. There's a lot of mishaps and a lot of, little mistakes and things like that. But we call that the editing magic, when we fix stuff like that.
As the numbers begin to rise, I remember when, Rob and I started this deal, and we were just blown away when a handful of people started to watch, and then it grew to Was there a milestone moment that you ever logged in to look at your demographics and say, man, we're either making it, or was there a number that you saw that said, I never thought I would be here? Or have you even reached that point?
No, honestly, yes, we surpassed that a long time ago. I'm not a real analytics watcher. I wasn't that big of a stat guy when I was cooking competitively. I just out there doing my thing, having fun more than anything, and trying to win. Doing my best to do that. And so now we're trying to win a different game. But my son follows the stats, and he shares that with us in our weekly meetings and stuff. But once we hit the 50,000 mark, I was like, all right, man, this might go somewhere, and we started to get a little bit more traction. We started to grow our audience, and that was when we kind of made that decision, Terry and I, that we needed some help. And my son actually was already helping us. We were his side hustle, right? But we knew that bringing him in was going to really catapult us in a way that we needed and that we wanted. And fortunately, that worked. But I think the turning point when we really jumped and it began to, as they say, become a snowball, exponential. 2 years ago, like in July, late July, early August, YouTube sent us an email and they said, hey, we saw your rice video with your mom. We love that. We think your audience and our audiences are going to love that. Do you mind if we share this video for Hispanic Heritage Month in September? And I was like, let me think about it. Hello, yeah, of course. We'd love that. And so they went ahead and pushed that video and promoted it throughout September. And literally within a month, we went from 50,000 followers on YouTube to about 120. And just from then on, it just kept rolling and rolling and rolling. And it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And so it's become, a little bit of a challenge to manage it all, because it's not just YouTube. We're also on Facebook, which used to be our main platform. And we're also on Instagram and TikTok. And so it's kind of hard to keep up, honestly, with all of it. I think one of the things a lot of people don't realize that see us on there is, like, I get hundreds of messages, and emails, and I try to keep up. I do keep up with most of them, right? Every once in a while, some might slip between the cracks, but I'm old school. I believe in customer service. I believe in a handshake and treating people the way I want to be treated. So I try to answer every message and most of the comments and filter out, the ones that we don't like, right? But anyway, it's been fun. It's a great fun ride. But that was kind of the first turning point when YouTube shared our video. And I'll share this with your audience too. I mean, another really great one that helped us, I think, on our spice side of things. 2 Julys ago, when Joe Rogan told people he was cooking with our OG, and we didn't give it to him. He bought it. I mean, he ordered it online, and so I remember calling my son. I was like, hey, there's this dude in Austin named Joe Rogan, but I don't think it's the same dude, right? Because he lives in California. And then my son goes, I'll call you back. And like 10 minutes later, he goes, Dad, it's the real Joe Rogan. He moved to Austin. I was like, oh, wow, cool, man. And really, that was in the middle of July. And, normally everybody's vacation, gone, whatever. Business is kind of slow. But that was a record month for us, selling OG, And so that was kind of like, it took us to another audience as well. And it also helped our channel grow. He has since posted 2 more times. Not even us asking anything. He just likes the product. So we're just happy. So that was another thing that helped us, give us a really big boost. Working with different brands, has gave us a huge boost. We started to get approached by different brands, and, we're starting out, we kind of don't know. They're like, hey, what's your rating? We're like, I don't know, man. What do we charge these guys, And, we want to be fair and do a good job for everybody. But, that's when we knew also that, hey, this is a legit business for us, and we can go somewhere with this. And so that's kind of how it all started and how it's been rolling. And it's been a really huge blessing. God's been very good to me and my family. And it's just really an honor to meet a lot of the people. When we went on our book tour, it just was very, very humbling and a huge honor to meet people, because they went so far out of their way and took time out of their day to come over there to buy one of my books and ask for an autograph, right? It just kind of blows my mind, to be honest with you. I'm just an old farm boy, grew up in West Texas for the most part, grew up the second half of my life here in Texas, in the Rio Grande Valley. And so, I mean, I'm just the same guy I always was, really. I mean, I think I am anyway. and just trying to do our thing, have fun, and share stuff that we think people will enjoy. I think cooking should be fun. I say that all the time, and so I try to share stuff with people that we hope that they can enjoy.
So speaking of, I've got the book here, autographed. I got my
in person.
I'd love to say that it's got a bunch of fingerprints throughout it. I've used it. I can't say that I have. My wife had, she knew exactly where she put it. But you have such a massive digital footprint, and you've made so much success on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. When did the discussion come to print an old school cookbook for people?
I think everybody that enjoys cooking and that cooks often, I had those fantasies, when I was on the cook-off trail. It wasn't this kind of cookbook at the time, but it just kind of was always in the back of my mind. And a couple of years ago, when we were rolling pretty good already, I told my son, people started asking for it online. So I told my son and my wife, I said, people were asking for a cookbook. I've kind of always wanted to do one. I think it's time we make a cookbook. And they both looked at me and said, you're crazy. You ain't going to write no cookbook. And I was like, we already got all the recipes. How hard can it be, right? And so we put it on the back burner, and about 8 or 10 months go by. And then we get an email from DK Books, and they're telling us that they follow our channel and that they really like what we're doing, and that if we would entertain an opportunity to write a cookbook, that they would help us. Obviously there was an advance, and we're like, yeah, sure, man, how hard can it be, right? And it's honestly not that hard. The hard part is just I cook like grandma and my mom, a pinch of this, a dash of that. It tastes good. No, add more of this. No, add more of that. I think all good cooks do that. But to write a cookbook, you have to be very exact with your recipes, because people are going to go try to duplicate it. So the hard part was that we were extremely busy on the production side and on shipping products. And so the hard part was finding the time to do it. And we got behind actually a couple of months from our deadline. And there was one point where I was just like, dude, I'm done, let's not finish this book. Let's put it on the back burner for next year. And we sat down as a family. We said, no, we got this started. We already committed. We gave them our word. Let's just work hard and get it done. And so we did. And, it turned out really great. Honestly exceeded my expectations as far as quality and the photography, everything. It's not because it's my cookbook, but I have hundreds of books, most of them cookbooks. And I feel very proud, how my book turned out. It's really, really nice.
So I want to talk about that photography. We talked about this kind of before the show because it's a question that I had. But one of the amazing things in this book is, this book is massive. There is a ton of recipes. But I hope you can see when it comes to here, just the amazing photos of dish after dish after dish. And one of the things that I was taken back by, and I asked you before the show, was, did you cook all those dishes and take all those photos? Because I don't remember being invited over to eat.
Yeah, actually, no, I did not take those photos. We had a couple of photographers. There was a budget for photography, and I remember telling my son, I told Dad, hey man, we have some really good cameras, why don't we cook the dishes and take the pictures, and upload them and all that. And he's like, you ain't gonna do that, Dad, trust me. And he was right, because we were rolling, making videos, and when we're wrapping up our video, there's just not enough time to take a really, really book-worthy picture. And so we were very fortunate that a local friend of ours, another content creator, is a photographer, a great photographer, and another friend of ours is also probably like the best photographer in the Valley, and one of the best in Texas as well. Just happened to live in the Valley. And so we enlisted them to come and do that. And the way the book and the photography worked in the book, the publishers hired 2 chefs, mainly one, and then she had a helper for a couple of days, to come and cook the recipes that were going to be in the book. I was not allowed to cook most of those recipes other than the barbecue side, because that's what I'm good at, right? And they are chefs. They're supposed to be able to cook everything. And honestly, this was sort of like a trial. The publisher wanted to make sure that what we wrote was not just something that I downloaded somewhere and threw it in there. They wanted to make sure these are good, legit recipes and that they tasted good and that they, had the serving portions and all that sort of stuff. So we literally did that in our dining room and our kitchen, and the chefs cooked the dishes, and we had a food stylist. Shout out to Ivana, also a content creator in the Valley, and Forkid Ismael, and also Eli Infante. He was the one that did our cover and a lot of the lifestyle shots as well. They did an amazing job, really just amazing. We're super, super happy with the work they did and just really, really proud of what they did as well. And honestly, I mean, and this is no BS, and he's told us this 3 times. The publisher guy, the editor, our editor, when he was at our house, he spent a whole week there with us. And it actually took us 2 weeks to shoot those recipes and photograph them, cook them and photograph them. And when he was there for 1 whole week, when he was ready to leave that last day, he goes, I got to tell you guys, I've been to a lot of booked recipe cooks and photography. He goes, this is some of the best food I've tasted in my entire life. And I was like, get out of here, man. You don't have to tell me that. You're already on the way out. He goes, I'm not kidding. He goes, this is some of the best food that I've ever had. And this is in all sincerity. And man, that just it made me want to cry, man, because, I mean, I know I'm a good cook. My family knows I'm a good cook, but to have somebody from New York come down and tell you that, and then he's told us that a couple of times on the phone or in our Google Meets, and it just really makes my heart swell with pride in a good way, not in an arrogant way, just I feel good about what I'm doing with my life and what we're sharing with people in public.
Yeah, when we talk about sharing with people, when Carrie and I and Katie were at the book signing tour here in Houston, one of the things we were taken aback, we went inside and ate and then decided to go get in line. Well, when we got in line, we were probably 50 people deep. And I assumed that I was going to be in line with a bunch of other fat barbecue guys. Sorry, fat barbecue guys and a few skinny barbecue guys I know. But I just assumed that everybody was going to look kind of like me and be from your barbecue past. And, as Carrie and I stood there in line, I just, kind of soaked in the room, and you had people from all walks of life, all races, all demographics. And so afterwards, and I've never told you this, but afterwards, somebody from your publisher was there, and we were having a discussion, and he alluded to the success of your book and how much they hadn't produced a book geared to Tex-Mex cuisine that had that kind of success amongst so many demographics that had such a large reach. From a performance standpoint, we know it hit the New York Times bestseller. Was that ever the goal? Did you think you were going to wake up one day and you were going to be on the New York Times website?
Honestly, no. Even when we had the book done and, we're out doing our tour, I've always heard it's kind of a grind, to get your book to be a good seller and stuff. And we knew it was a good book. It was beautiful and all that good stuff. But to be honest with you, a New York Times bestseller never, ever, ever even entered my mind. It was never even a fantasy or a dream. So when it happened, I was like, holy cow. It's just really, we were actually at Zavala's Barbecue in Grand Prairie doing a book signing when that happened. And honestly, it just blew me away, man. I was stunned. I think we all were, to be frank with you, because none of us thought that was going to happen, particularly in a short period of time. We had just started the book tour a week and a half before that. The book had just hit Amazon and all the other bookstores a week and a half before that. So within that short period of the book actually being available and being at people's doorsteps and being in bookstores, less than 2 weeks, and to hit that, and we were just like, how did that happen, man? I have no idea, but for sure, a huge moment of humbleness again, wow.
I think you might have surprised some folks in New York also, because I remember before you actually made an announcement on social media, I had found the rankings on the New York Times site, and they didn't even have a photo of your book when the ranking first came out. They had the other books that were in line, And then there was yours, and they didn't even have a photo of the book to post online, which I thought was a little disrespectful, but they fixed it. But yeah, that was the first time I had seen it. I just searching for it because, you know, it had showed a #1 seller on Amazon. All the, you know, never really looked to see how well a book sold, and you've had just a ton of success with it. Where do you go now? You've got your book out. You've got your social media content. Is it something that we know recently you made a name change to the Rubs? And so I looked, everything in my pantry needs to be replaced, obviously. And so we cooked with OG tonight. So tell us what's next for Arnie.
You know, next, I think we're constantly strategizing, constantly trying to be creative with our content. You know, I know a lot of people, you mentioned earlier, I think we were still offline. A lot of people just, you know, post every day and do stuff every day. We're really pretty busy, and I'm just not the type of guy that's on there 24/7, partly because I just have so many other things going on. But one of the things that we're doing, and part of the name change for the seasoning line, the Rubs, is really because of what you mentioned earlier. We have a very diverse audience, a broader audience. When I started American Pitmaster Company, obviously my background is primarily barbecue, you know, but I've always cooked in the kitchen and kind of been the primary cook in the house anyway, since I've been married. But we've gone on to do so many other types of cooking and types of recipes. And so we just kind of felt like, because we're bringing on a lot of our cultural recipes and a lot of the spices and seasonings and chiles and flavors that I grew up with and that a lot of people love beyond, you know, our culture. We're just blown away how many people buy our Rubs and that follow our YouTube and stuff. I mean, worldwide, but all over the country too. I mean, we've shipped spices everywhere. And so because of that, we just felt like the name, everybody knows me as Arnie, right? So people said, you should have your face on there. You should have your mustache on there. You should have something like that, right? And so basically in our culture, asada means barbecue, right? So we just felt like Arnie's Barbecue, because we're also going to bring on some other spices. We have a bean spice coming out. We just launched our Mexican rice spice. We're going to be making some adobo powders. All those things we're working on at this time. And so we just kind of felt like the Pitmaster part of the name just kind of didn't fit the direction that we're trying to go. So that's the main reason for that we're trying to build a little bit of a spice line. Right now, our goal is to get into the big box stores. We're hoping that we can do that, get into Amazon and some other bigger volume channels. It's kind of that's our next step, but we don't want to let the throttle off of our content creation either. We would love to still do 2 YouTube videos a week, but it's just so hard, man. It's just so hard. Even though we are really good at it now, we're a lot more efficient than we used to be, but there's just so much going on that we have a little bit more trouble keeping up. And as I mentioned earlier, I try to keep up with all the messages and the emails and the comments, and that actually consumes a considerable amount of my time on a daily basis as well. It's the first thing I look at in the morning. It's the last thing I look at night, and multiple times a day, because I want my fans, my friends out there to feel like if they ask a question that they're going to get an answer.
Yeah, no, it was amazing when the book showed up at the house. Pre-ordered, the book showed up. I fired off a text message, and probably faster than I respond to my wife. I got a genuine thank you from you. It kind of took me back because it's one of those. I get how busy you are. I know the personality that you become online, and the fact that you took time to send a personalized message to me just for thank you for buying the book meant a lot to me, and I appreciate that, and the fact that I still show people that this guy that has 1 million followers texted me back, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I try to catch all of them. At some point, I may not be able to.
And I learned that you text me back faster than you text Rob back, so that's even makes me feel even better.
Yeah, well, maybe it's because Rob doesn't text me.
Yeah. So, and so we've got the name change. We got the book. We talked about the social media platform. Is there, you know, I know we talked about all the kids in the background. Obviously, who else out there makes this all go? And this is your chance to make sure you thank all the important people in your life, so I don't get you in trouble.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I got to give a big shout out to Terry. A lot of you guys out in my barbecue friends all know my wife, Terry. She's definitely my right hand and my backbone. Very fortunate to have the support that she gives me all the time. I've done some crazy things in my life, and she's still here. So I'm grateful and I'm thankful for that. Very grateful for my son, Dan. You know, he's kind of the backbone now as far as behind the scenes and the content creation, the creative direction that we've taken. A lot of it comes from him. Some of the recipes we all brainstorm together. Sometimes they're mine, sometimes they're his, sometimes they're Terry's, you know, even she comes up with some good ideas too. And then, you know, Sophie, my daughter up in Chicago, does 90% of the editing. We do have another editor now also in California. Shout out to Isaiah. If you're watching, Isaiah, you're doing an amazing job too for us. And, you know, it's just everybody that's been involved with us and around us, everybody that's had us on their show. We've been on several TV news shows in the Valley and San Antonio and Houston. And so we're just very grateful to all of those folks. Shout out to JB Salceda, Texas Country Reporter. Daniel Vaughn showed up for a book signing in Grand Prairie. Thank you so much, Daniel. We appreciate you very, very much. And we're very happy and proud of the work you're doing for the barbecue community as well, man. It's really amazing to see what barbecue has become. You know, it's like this huge culture, you know, it's like a cult thing now. Everybody wants to barbecue and be good at barbecuing and experience really great barbecue. I think Daniel had a really huge part of that, and Texas Monthly as well. So shout out to all of those folks, man, for sure. And you know, my mom, you know, she comes on. People love my mom to death, man. And so we try to bring her on as much as possible. You know, she's also very busy seeing doctors and going out to eat with her daughters and just working on her plants. She loves to work on her plants and she loves to shop. She's still 84. She still drives all over the place, man.
I think your mom reminds me of myself in the kitchen. Very little measuring going on.
Yep.
And so I think that's what I enjoy the most about. And then the toe-to-toe, you know, your enchilada video where y'all went toe-to-toe was another classic.
Yeah, that was fun. And it's fun to cook with my mom because you guys think I'm a little funny and kooky, you know. You should hang around with my mom.
Yeah.
It's always fun to cook with her because she's a hoot, man. She's just a fun person to be around, too.
She doesn't lack any lack of honesty.
No,
so,
none.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. And if you guys see her out there in the stores, tell her hi. She loves that. You know, she goes shopping, you know, she's at Marshall or somewhere. And they'll be like, "Are you Arnie's mom?" And she's like, "Yeah." "Oh, we love you," you know, whatever. And I get messages all the time. "Hey, how come you haven't brought your mom on? You need to bring her on more often," you know. And we try to, you know, but, you know, we're just kind of going 100 miles an hour. And sometimes our schedules just don't align.
Well, from a personal note, Arnie, it's a pleasure to have this conversation. I know we got to do it with like 60, 70 people or more. I don't know the stats anymore. The show's probably a lot bigger than when I left.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
So I know we had to do one-on-one, but it was one of those these are all the questions that I'd love to have the time at the book signing, but you had a line of people to get to. But as a friend and somebody as a fan, and it's been an awesome thing to sit there and watch. Literally from the very beginning, I remember having a conversation where you said, "This is what we're going to do. You know, we're going to retire and we're going to make a business out of barbecue." And to watch it grow from when we had that conversation and from Wild Bill's to out at the rodeo to where you are today, and then the fact that you still answer so many messages and pick up the phone when I call. As a friend, I just want to say thank you. And I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation tonight. It's been a fantastic insight into truly one of the brand ambassadors for barbecue, not only for Texas, but now for the whole country and globally. And so, man,
thank you.
We're huge fans and big supporters of you. and can't wait to see where it goes from here.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys too. And just before we go, I do want to say a big shout out and hello. Thank you to all my barbecue friends from the cook-off world. We really never left intending to not cook anymore. It just so happened when COVID kicked in, this is kind of when we started to do our thing. When we started to go back in 2021, I think it was 2020, when COVID kicked in, we didn't cook for a year or basically whatever. When we started to go back, and then it was just like I got sick that last year, 2 years ago. I got really, really sick right before the San Antonio rodeo. And then fast forward another year, and my toy hauler's still sitting there with brand new tires, brand new brakes, brand new everything. And I'm like, we haven't used this thing except once in 2 or 3 years. I guess it's time to go. We weren't planning to retire. We still wanted to do a few events here and there, and it just hasn't happened. It just kind of snowballed and took off. And so I want to say hi to all my barbecue friends and family out there. I miss all of you guys. I miss the Friday night fun. I miss the awards, both for me and for y'all. So I want to wish everybody else good luck out there.
And then last but not least, I got mine on Amazon. I've seen it at Barnes and Noble. If you're watching tonight and you don't have this awesome cookbook, Arnie, where do they get it from?
You can get it on Amazon, or you can go to my Facebook page or my YouTube page. There is a link in our homepages to all the places you can buy it. You can also get it at my website at pitmaster.us. If you want it signed, you can get it signed. Every book that we sell from our website goes out autographed. If you want a dedication, you would need to send us an email or a message and let us know how you want us to do that. But pretty much they all just go out signed and autographed, and you can get that at pitmaster.us as well.
And then finally, for Ty's sake, can we get one just boom before you leave?
Yes. Keep the smoke light, make it work, and boom.
Well, hey, sir, I appreciate it very much for answering the question and everything. But I do have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
Since I started in the the barbecue, pouring water and washing dishes and doing various little things at award shows, I hear your name all the time, and the reverence attached with people like Johnny Trigg and yourself, and then a lot of the people that are literally becoming kind of like rock stars. They're celebrities. When Bill Purvis and Phil Breeden go to and Kit Polk go to Australia, that's a big time event, and so what it was the genesis of you getting into barbecue? Like, evidently it's your family and love, and you love, showing your heritage and culture with your spices, but like, what got you into cooking in the beginning?
I grew up around it. My dad used to manage he was a foreman on a big farming and ranching operation in West Texas. It was about 7,000 acres. And so I grew up on that farming, ranching community. And so at least once a month, they would have a big barbecue and a get together at my parents' house. And very often they would slaughter a whole cow or a couple of pigs or a couple of goats. And, they'd make chicharrones and cook all the pork and carnitas and, and they'd cook the whole cow. It'd be a 3-day party. So I kind of grew up around that. So I guess it got into my DNA. And when I got married, we moved to Texas. We moved back to the Valley when I was going into high school. And again, the party was always at my parents' house, and my dad was a welder at that time. He had a welding business. And so he would build barbecue pits for friends and family. And so we would always be barbecuing around that and at the house. And when I got married, one of my uncles gifted me and Terry a little barbecue pit made out of, a little butane tank, not a butane, the Freon tanks for air conditioners. And so we cooked on that the first couple of years. And I've just always enjoyed cooking. When I was working in the car business, I was fortunate to be working at a dealership where the owner kind of let us do whatever we wanted. We'd barbecue for lunch every day. And then one day we were in Austin and on vacation and stopped at a barbecue galore store, found the barbecue news sitting on the counter. And so we decided to go check out some of these events and went to one and got hooked, went home, built a trailer pit, the Smoking Lone Star, and started cooking, man. Started cooking 6-7 times, a year, and then 10 times a year, and then, twice a month. And then eventually in early 2013, I quit my job, and we were doing really well, making a little bit of money. It was in the heyday of competition barbecue, I call it, when the oil field and sponsors, everybody was throwing money at the barbecue competitions, and we were winning our fair share. So I quit my job, man, literally, and started cooking full time. And then we had a few rough spots where I didn't know that you didn't always win. And so we had some rough spots, right? But fortunately, we were totally debt free, you know, so we were still able to do it. Built a little homemade trailer, did that, and just kept on trucking, man. And fast forward to 2016, 17, we were, you know, very successful and got into the IBC Hall of Fame, and started teaching classes. That was very lucrative for about a year and a half. And then my son at that time was graduated from college and said, Dad, you know, and as I said earlier, his background was photo video. He said, Dad, why don't we start an online class? And, you know, you'll have access to a lot more people that way. So we did that, and it just really was very successful also right off the bat. And so we just kept going, man. That's how I got into competitive barbecue. But as far as cooking in general, I've always cooked at home. I've always enjoyed cooking. Watched my mom, my grandmas cook, you know, slaughter, you know, fresh goats and fresh chickens, and just being around that, I guess, you know, I've always enjoyed cooking. But the competition world was really what was my poison, you know, man. I got in that and I fell in with both feet, man. And, you know, once you get a couple of walks, you're hooked, you're done, man. You want to be out there all the time trying to improve your medal and weigh yourself against your friends, you know, and the other competitors.
Absolutely. I hear you, everything that you've talked about. If you're a brand new cook and you've listened to the last 10 minutes of ArnieTex, his name is synonymous with Texas. That's not easy to do. His name is synonymous with barbecue, Texas barbecue. That's definitely not easy to do. His name is as Case so eloquently pointed out, is cross demographics that you wouldn't think were going to be in the line. So kudos to you, sir. Kudos to your team being involved with everything you do with social media. But I do want to ask, I heard during the interview you said, you know, you're not out there cooking every weekend again. You missed that. What was your favorite event to go to back in the day?
You know, I think I don't know that I have one favorite, but if I had to pick, it would probably be the Edinburgh High Stakes and the San Antonio Rodeo. I'd put both of those in the same basket. High Stakes because it's in my backyard. We were able to reserve that one once, third overall once. Never quite clinched that GC, but we were so close so many times. We did win first place steak one time there. It's one of the biggest steak events, you know, in Texas. But the San Antonio Rodeo to me is the most, carries the most pride and weight as far as like, you know, if you win that one, man, you're somebody, man. And some of our friends have won it more than once, and some have won it once. And so, man, my hat's off to those guys, you know, because that's not easy to do. We did tie for reserve grand champion in San Antonio with some friends from the Valley one time too, but they outdid me on the brisket by a couple of points, so I wound up third overall. But you know, man, that's just, to me, that's probably the one to win. If I go back, that's the one I'd like to win, you know.
I don't know if your social media team has thought about this or if y'all put this around, but you could, as y'all are traveling into events, you could just put a camera on you and just you start telling stories about barbecue, and you're going to get a gang of followers. I mean, the stories you tell are just so cool. Like, if you've listened to this for the last 15 minutes, it's a blueprint for everything that you need to do for not only to cook well, to be respected, to, you know, transcend the sport, so to speak, but also how to work on your branding and business. And we've had in the comments here, people are talking about, you know, you're always on everybody's Mount Rushmore. So the Gooder gang is really interested to hear what your Mount Rushmore of barbecue would be. Case, if you don't mind, you want to tell him what that is?
Yeah.
So Arnie, it could be your biggest four influences on you, or somebody, you know, for me, it's like, you know, Craig Cherry, guys that have been, you know, somebody who's either helped me along or somebody that I really look up to, or somebody that I respect in the barbecue game. So this is where we're going to put you on the spot, though, because you've made thousands of friends, but you got to pick four now. Well, three after you pick me, and then from there you got three other spots.
Phew, well, I mean, that's kind of a loaded question. I wasn't expecting it, so I didn't have time to think about it. But recently I've been communicating with an old football friend, multi-time world champion, just a super nice guy since the day I met him, 30 some years ago or 20 some years ago, whatever it was, 20 some. Mike Davis. I met him, I think, in Grand Prairie or in Houston. No, it was Tyler, Texas, or somewhere around there. There was a big event, and he just happened to be parked close to me, and we were kind of getting started. And um, at that time, there was a seasoning called what was it called, man? Shoot, man, dude, I forgot. But anyway, I actually went to Mike's trailer and I said, "Hey, Mike, do you happen to have any of this seasoning? And I don't know if you used it or not." He goes, "Well, I do just happen to have some right here." He goes, "But it's not straight out of the bottle. It's got a little extra something in it, but you're welcome to use it, you know." And then I would use that on chicken, right? And then I wound up placing like second or third place chicken. It was this big event. And he come over and slapped me in the back. He goes, "You weren't supposed to beat me with my own seasoning." And so, man, I have memories like that all over the place with really great people, man. But Mike Davis has always been a real great representative for the sport as well. I did mention earlier Daniel Vaughn. I mean, he's not a competitor, but he is the guy in the barbecue world when it comes to, barbecue knowledge and experience and being legit, straight up person, trying to give credit where credit's due and stuff. Man, I mean, I wasn't thinking about this, but, people I look up to, I mean, honestly, I have to say Fred Robles is probably another guy that I just like, whew, man, here's a guy that came, I remember first time he showed up at a cook-off, we were in Edinburgh, and he literally showed up. He was parked a few spots down from the rest of us, and I wound up GCing that event, and the Killer Rees got reserve grand, or Cruz, I think it was Killer Rees, and Fred came in third overall, and we all looked over there and we're like, who's this dude? Where the heck did he come from? Fast forward, man, now multi-time world champion and just one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet anywhere at any time. I think he's won the San Antonio Rodeo twice too, American Royal a couple of times. Just one of the coolest, nicest guys, godly man that you'll ever meet. Just another super, super cool dude. And I'm trying to pull something else out of my head, trying to find somebody because honestly, there's so many great guys out there that I really, really admire. I'm going to say, okay, another one. Yeah, I mean, I really, really, Cosmos is the guy that was the guy when I started getting good at competition. Him, he just like when he brought all his stuff on and he was doing his thing, and he's just another guy. Kind of reminds me of me. Just really nice person. Kind of fun to watch, kind of fun to talk to. Just a cool dude, man. But he's made it really big in the barbecue world. Just on the down low, we're supposed to do something together here pretty soon. So anyway, but he's another guy that I really admire, respect, and just really, really kind of hope that I ever get to be half as successful as he is in the business world. So yeah, I guess I'm going to say that's my Mount Rushmore, and we'll add one more. We'll put you up there too, Case.
No, don't count. Look, like I can be at the bottom, it's fine. Yeah, I don't have to be at like the same size as Fred, but right next to him, it's fine.
Yeah, right on, man. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So you also have to have a fifth person. It's a bobblehead that just almost didn't make the top four to make the Mount Rushmore, but
I think that was me.
Oh, that was Case. Okay.
Okay.
How about back in the day, your barbecue homie, that person that you were always going to call, hey, where you going? Let's set up together. And then the gumball is a person the secondary that you're going to call if your barbecue homie's not available.
In 12, 13, 14, 15, there was this whole clique. We'd all run together. Where y'all going? Where are you going this week? Whatever, but I think I'm trying to think, man, who was the main one in that particular group? You know, it was the Killer V's. It was Cruz Tijerina. He was the one that was always calling me. And, shout out to him. You know, he would always call me, where are you going? Hey, man, you want to stay in our RV? You know, he had a big RV with an extra bedroom in the back, you know, with different access and stuff. And so he'd let us do that. But we ran together for a long time, and I didn't see him for a long time. He showed up at one of my book signings, and I was like, there's the same old Cruz. You know, we took a picture. He was in the middle. I was on one side, and I forget who was on the other side. And he looks at me after the picture. He goes, hey, it's just like the good old days. I'm in first place because I'm in the middle. I was like, that's Cruz for you, man. He was always a fun guy to be around. Definitely a bobblehead for sure. He was always a character and just fun, man. He was just a good person, too.
Well, very nice, sir. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Rob, are you do you think you want to try and hop on, or you want us to? All right. Yeah. All right, Case. You can close this out if you'd like with Mr. ArnieTex.
Well, Arnie, anybody else you got to thank? Any sponsors? Anybody that makes you get down the road? These guys come on the show and they've got a million people that. We did a show one time with CJ Bean. I mentioned this, and he was on here for 30 minutes. But anybody else, I know we thanked Mom and we thanked Terry. So as long as we got those two out, I don't get in trouble. But anybody else that we missed.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys, you know, they're friends of mine. Wild Bill was one of our sponsors. I love that guy. But really, at the end of the day, one of the things I said at each book tour was, I want to thank all my fans, all my followers, everybody that subscribes to our YouTube and all of our social media pages. Because honestly, we wouldn't be where we're at without them. They're my customers. They're my friends. They're the ones that encouraged me to write the cookbook. So there was a huge amount of encouragement that came from that direction as well. So I just want to say a big thank you to everybody watching, everybody that sees this video, everybody who has liked or commented in a good way on one of my videos or one of my posts or whatever. We appreciate and love each and every one of them. I do. I mean, from the bottom of my heart. So I thank everybody. I really, really do. I appreciate everybody. And we're just honored and humbled to be where we're at. We've been very blessed by God. So we're very thankful and grateful for that as well.
Well, there he was, folks. If you don't have the book like I do, go get it. You can go to Arnie's website. You can go to Amazon. Barnes & Noble, there's bookstores that actually still do exist. Saw it on the shelf. And so if you haven't picked up the book, holiday season is coming up. I can tell you right now, if you can't figure out what to get somebody that's hard to buy for, this is a great gift. And it is something that you can get sent over. And the reach, I've got friends from Kansas to California, even California, that are reading Arnie's books. And getting better at barbecue. And if you can get barbecue better in California, I doubt it. But Arnie, man, it's been an absolute pleasure of mine, as I said before. And we wish you all the luck in the world. Thanks for taking time to hang out with the So Smoking Gooder Show for the second time. And who knows how many follows you'll have for the next time you come on the show.
Well, thank you, Case. Thank you, Rob. Sorry that we missed you here. Thank you, Ty. Thank you all for being on the show with us. Really appreciate all you guys. Thank you all. It's an honor and always a pleasure to be on the show with you guys. So thank you.
Arnie, good night, buddy.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hang on. Don't get off. We'll end the show with Case live, and then Rob, I think, is going to be able to talk to you backstage, Mr. Tex. Go ahead. Close us out live.
We're going to wrap up the show tonight. Well, that was awesome. Ty, thanks for shooting over the invite. Rob, I guess I got to come back on the show to spend some time with my buddy. We did talk about it this week. I was looking forward to spending some time and hanging out and getting caught up with you and doing the show. So I guess I've got to come back and do it again. Sorry, Roddy. But looking forward to it. For those of you that tuned in tonight for our conversation with Arnie, and Ty, it's been awesome. In the So Smoking Gooder Show, we truly appreciate each and every one of you. I'm glad to be a part of episode, I think Rob said 324. Holy crap, that's a lot of episodes. But there's only one way to finish episode 324, and that's to tell everybody out there in Barbecue Nation good night. Barbecue Nation in YouTube, California.